Okay, so solving for a variable. Number 1, if 4 parentheses x minus 1 equals x parentheses x minus 2, then x equals blank. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and distribute. So we'll get 4x minus 4 equals 8x minus 16. Then from here, I like to keep my x's positive, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x to the other side. I'll be left with negative 4 equals 4x minus 16. We'll go ahead and add 16 to both sides. 16 minus 4 is 12, and I'll just continue it right here. So 12 equals 4x. Dividing both sides by 4, x is 3. And there's nothing fancy about this problem, just a basic solve for the variable. All right, next one. What is the smallest integer for the inequality? Let me go ahead and, there we go, just enlarge just a little. What's the smallest integer for which the inequality is true? So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is simplify this problem. So I'm going to add a fourth. Let's go ahead and actually, I'm going to change that to a decimal to make this a little easier to work with. So I'm going to be adding 0.25 to both sides. I'll be left with x over 4 is greater than or equal to 1.25. And when I multiply both sides by 4 times 1.25 is 5. So I get x is greater than or equal to 5. And technically, all of these answers are greater than or equal to 5. However, we want the smallest integer value that makes it true, and the smallest integer value would have to be 5. All right, on the next problem, which of the following represents the solution to that inequality? The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is subtract 5. So as I rewrite this, I'm going to get 1/2, negative 1/2 x, greater than or equal to 4, because what I started to do was just subtracting 5. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 2. So I get negative 1x is greater than or equal to 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 1. And when I do that, make sure that you are flipping the inequality, making x less than or equal to negative 8, which is option A. All right, a factory can produce 100 bracelets every 15 minutes. How many bracelets can the factory produce in 3.5 hours? So in 1 hour, there are 4 15-minute increments. Okay, 4 15-minute increments in 1 hour, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. 60 divided by 15 is 4. Well, in 3 hours, I would just do 4 times 3. Which is 12, so I have 12 15-minute increments in 3 hours, plus my half, that would be 1 and 1. So I have a total in 3.5 hours of 14 15-minute increments. So all I'm going to do is do 100 times 14, which is 1,400, option D. This is the easiest way to do it, just thinking about what time represents and how many 15-minute increments are there. Okay, number 5 is a little bit tricky because they are purposely subtracting these polynomials so that you distribute incorrectly. So this first part is going to stay the same, 3x minus 5x plus 1. Then I have to distribute my negative to everything, which means this is minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 6. My 3x squareds, they're going to go away. Then I'm left with negative 5x and positive 2x for a negative 3x. And analyzing my answer choices, I can go ahead and narrow it down to just A or B. Then I have a positive 1 and a negative 6, which gives me a negative 5, which is answer choice A. Okay, number 6. Which of the following values of x makes the equation x minus 5 equals 9 minus x true? You could plug in these answer choices if you want, or honestly, I would just solve it. So I'm going to add x. I get 2x, and I'm also going to go ahead and add 5. So these are moving. 9 plus 5 is 14. When I divide both sides by 2, I get 7, which is C. Okay, on to the back. Number 7, what is the value of 3x minus 5 equals 4x plus 9? This is, again, a basic solving question. So I'm going to subtract, I accidentally wrote plus. Subtract 3x, negative 5 equals x plus 9. I'm going to go ahead and also subtract 9 on both sides. So I get negative 14 equals x, which is option A. For which of the following is a possible value of x if 4x is greater than 3 and negative x is greater than 3? So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. I get x is greater than 3/4 and x is less than negative 3. Okay. So I'm looking for a value that is greater than 3/4 but is also less than negative 3. No numbers, like if I were to graph this on a number line, okay, negative 3 is here. Okay, negative 3 is here. Open circle. I'm looking for numbers that are less than negative 3. Here's 3/4. And numbers that are bigger than 3/4. Like, that's not possible. There are no values that satisfy both of those at the same time. There's nothing. Number 9, what is the value of A? So the first thing, distribute 2. So I get 6A minus 1 equals 2A plus 1. Subtracting 2A from both sides, I get 4A minus 1 equals 1. Adding 1, I get 4A equals 2. Oh, I made a mistake. 2 times 1 is 2. So that was my mistake. When I add 1, I get 3. So A is 3/4. So again, there's a perfect example of how easy it is to mess these problems up. Make sure that you distribute to everything, which I did forget. So it's okay to make a mistake. Just make sure that you know how to fix it. All right, this problem I think is one of the hardest ones on the worksheet. It says there are 45 students that are in performance band, and there are 30 that are in jazz band. 19 students are in both bands. How many students are only signed up for one? So 45 of these kids are in performance band. Okay, let's say that's first period. Second period, we've got 30 total kids in jazz band. We want to know how many kids are only in performance band or only in jazz band. Well, we know that 19 are in both, so I need to remove those 19 kids, getting an answer of 26. However, I'm not done after I do that. What I want to do now is remove those same 19, because remember, these are the same kids. I want to also remove them from jazz band, and I get 11. To find out how many kids are only in one or the other, I would add the kids that are left, getting an answer of 37, which is option C. Okay, number 11. Which of the following inequalities satisfies the inequality? Negative 3x plus 4 is greater than 6. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, getting me negative 3x is greater than 2. I'm going to divide by a negative, so I'm going to split my inequality, and I get negative 2/3. So if I'm looking here, it's definitely not this one. And then the difference between these two is whether or not you flipped your inequality, and we remembered, so the correct answer is A.